Good evening. Welcome to our bodacious news report of the Totally Rad 80s. I am Tom Brokaw, and my co-host here, Brian Williams, and I will tell you all about the tubular things that happen when your parents are our age. Hold on to your seats, dudes and duets. It's only going to be like totally gnarly.
Oh, grody, dude. When our parents were young, they kissed each other, gagged me with a spoon. Oh, sorry to talk about our parents getting fresh with each other. Back to the 80s report, Tom.
Okay, let's start with some totally tubular people that were important in the 80s. First off, in 1980, Jimmy Carter was the president. It was his last year. Then President Ronald Reagan was elected and served throughout the rest of the 80s. His wife was Nancy Reagan, who was best known in history for her campaign on Say No to Drugs.
Whoa, dude. That's heavy stuff. On a lighter note, the 80s were the golden age of arcade games. Classics like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Centipede were some of the most popular games around. Then in 1985, Nintendo changed the world by bringing video games into our houses. Dude, Nintendo rocks. Mario! Dun, 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 dun.
The Utah State Senators were Orrin Hatch and Jake Garland. Yes, in case you were wondering, Orrin Hatch is still the Republican senator. He's been in for 37 years. Some other people were Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
You gotta say it? Good luck.
I missed it.
Some say he was quite the thriller, and others say he was a bad, smooth criminal. Other sweet musicians were AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. Speaking of old people, some dudes and dudettes wrote some pretty awesome books that eventually turned into movies like Ender's Game and The Color Purple.
Color purple. Well, Brian, there were some great authors that made a big splash in the 80s, like Judy Blume, who wrote Tales of the Fourth Grade Nothing and Super Fudge. Beverly Cleary, who wrote Moses and Beezus. But, Brian, since you mentioned the king of pop, let's not forget about the queen of pop, Madonna, the material girl herself, and my mom's favorite actor, Tom Cruise, who is still making blockbusters every year. Some other favorites include Tina Turner, Whitney Houston, and Steven Spielberg.
Awesome, dude. Steven Spielberg is totally awesome. Did you see E.T., the extraterrestrial, and the Indiana Jones series? I hate snakes. It was bodacious. A few important things happened outside the movie theater, too. The first space shuttle, the Columbia, launched in 1981. The Titanic was found at the bottom of the ocean in 1985. And the Berlin Wall came down in 1989.
And last but not least, the most popular basketball player of all time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Michael Jordan, who could truly fly to the hoop with the ball in beautiful fashion. Talk about flying. What about Larry Bird? He played for the Celtics and had one of the best shooting records in the books. Well, Brian, what else can you tell us about important facts in U.S. history in the 80s?
Well, yes, Tom. There was a terrible famine in Ethiopia that many people in America tried to help support. The royal wedding was on TV, while millions of people watched Lady Diana marry Prince Charles. And in 1987, the New York Stock Exchange suffers on a huge drop on Black Monday.
One of the most well-known things from the 80s was the crazy fashion. If you were talking about big hair, you would use the word, let's say, big. Big bangs, big wings, big molds, big ragtails, and big frizz. The bigger the better on the hair. Let's take a look at a few examples of 80s hair.
Oh, wrong ear.
Oh. Yeah, they had mullets back then. I had mullets.
Scary.
You see that?
What in the world is that? The middle left is so jacked.
They had heard back then.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
If you want to know about the clothing, kids wore bright colored leggings, neon clothes, crazy patterns with bright colors, big lace bows in their hair to be like Madonna, and parachute pants. There was also a craze of crazy pattern sweaters worn by boys to look like Bill Cosby from The Cosby Show, which was one of the most famous TV shows for families.
You think that's cool? Listen to this. In 1981, the personal computer was invented. Can you imagine if that hadn't been invented? The 80s also brought a new recipe for Coke. First woman named Sally Ride got to go to space, and the PG-13 movie rating was invented. If you were a criminal, your life just got more difficult. Is Davis here?
He left. He disappeared in his time.
Your life just got more difficult. In the 80s, because technology to use DNA in investigating crimes was invented. And now for some real heavy stuff.
Get your tissue, people.
Someone tried to assassinate the president! Ronald Reagan. They were unsuccessful, of course. The space shuttle, the Challenger, blew up. While the whole world watched and the U.S. bombed Libya. Please talk about something happy.
Here are some rad toys that were popular in the 80s. These made all the girls and boys smile. The G.I. Joe figurines were popular for little boys. And many boys could be seen riding the green machine that was like today's Big Wheel. If you were a little girl, you most likely had My Little Pony. You get Garbage Pail Kids, and a Cabbage Patch Doll. All kids and adults are enjoy trying to solve the Rubik's Cube.
Since we are on a lighter note, let's talk about the movies and entertainment. We talk about the movies and entertainment more. The 80s brought a group of teen actors called the Brat Pack. They starred in movies like The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, The Outsiders, and 16 Candles. Some of the actors' names include Molly Ringwald, Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, Andrew McCarthy, and Anthony Michael Hall.
If you are more of a couch potato, enjoy eating your favorite 80s snacks like Warheads, Cool Ranch Doritos, Funyuns, Pop Rocks, and Mountain Dew, you might have been found watching these shows after a rough day at school. The Brady Bunch, MASH, Family Ties, Full House, Facts of Life, Fame, and Growing Pains.
Phew, I'm suddenly getting hungry for some Cool Ranch Doritos, dude. Let's go watch some TV and sign off of this newscast for tonight. For the night.
This has been Tom Brokaw
And Brian Williams
with you tonight on our report of the totally bodacious news report of the totally rad 80s.
Yeah.